Let's go around.
Right.
Hi, I'm Tara.
Shade.
I am Ross.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Colin.
I'm Nick.
I'm Alan.
Let's do
So,
tobacco.
what do you guys think about the tobacco law being raised to 21?
Doesn't
I
matter.
think it's very stupid.
Who smokes anymore? How do you...
Well, I mean,
Oh,
it
like
affects
millions of
vapors
people?
too. So if you're a cool vapor, you can't vape anymore.
Can't
until
put
you're
me on
21.
fat clouds.
No, well, you can't buy it. I don't know about usage. I think it's just
No, I don't
buying.
think you
I
can.
feel like, I mean, if they're gonna ban it,
Yeah.
I can't even use it.
Well, I mean, because there's gonna be, especially when they're first implementing it. I think it's starting with purchasing, because people who already own like a vape and whatnot, that I don't know if they're allowed to just flat out say you can't use this without like dealing with reimbursement or whatnot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people spend a good amount of money on either like they bought like glass stuff to use with tobacco, or they've got like a vape and all this crap. So they've spent the money and now they just can't legally use it.
It's not inexpensive either.
Well, I mean,
It's
I think it's not
expensive
that
stuff.
bad because
It's a couple
tobacco
hundred.
really doesn't do anything good for you. It just like ruins your lungs. So
Yeah,
there's no
but
point really.
they're doing this because they claim that the majority of smokers happen between the ages of 18 and 19. But
Which is true, and it's a true
A lot-
statistic. Like that's a
removing rights is never the right way to
No, definitely not.
solve something.
Well, it's not being removed.
I mean-
it's being raised.
In a
Yeah.
way,
Well, yeah,
it
if
kinda
you're
is,
18 to
though.
21, you're now
Like the whole
legally
point of
not allowed
becoming
to
an
do
adult at
something.
18 is like having,
You're technically not
Constitutionally
fully
it's
matured
allowed.
at 18, so you're more, I guess, vulnerable to like stupid mistakes, and like there's no reason to be smoking tobacco at age 18.
Yeah, I guess the biggest argument that people would have, because personally I'm against tobacco and all that, but I think the biggest argument is that if teenagers can be 18 and join the military and go to war, then why can't they also smoke?
or
That's
drink.
the thing.
It's not like they-
If
it's not like
if
they
you're
don't
in
smoke
this
at
one-
war anyway.
this law is so flimsy that if you're in the military, you're allowed to still smoke in
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
So like it's
Well-
they're saying like we're purely doing this off of like a feel good notion, because clearly it's not for like actual reasons, because then
Yeah.
people in the military wouldn't be allowed to smoke.
Yeah,
But it's
the military operates under its own sort of
Jurisdiction.
jurisdiction and laws, though. I know that, like, if you join the military at the age of 17 with parents' consent, you can also drink, but you can only drink on military bases, so they kind of operate with their own laws. I wouldn't say that a civilian is similar to someone in the military in the service, because they operate under different systems. But as far as the tobacco law goes, I wouldn't necessarily classify it as a ban. I would just think of it as like an age requirement. And I mean, if people are going to smoke, they're going to smoke. I mean, even if they wait until the age of 21, they're going to smoke. So it's really up to people and their personal decision. So I wouldn't, personally, I'm against it because I just think people need to make their own decisions. But at the same time, I kind of understand why, because when you're 18 years old, you don't make a lot of good decisions sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Still, you shouldn't have your rights evoked. I mean, I know this
Revoked,
isn't
yeah.
like a huge step towards that, but it is a step towards that. And I think that as Americans, we should be as nearly free as possible, and that's what this country was founded on, and that's what we should, continue to follow.
I'm definitely not a supporter of
really
tobacco in any way. Like I don't use tobacco. I don't really know anyone who does, and I wouldn't ever
condone it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't, but I feel like the last thing they should be doing is saying this thing was legal, now it's not. Especially, it feels like nowadays people are trying so hard to make as much, legal as possible, right?
Mhm.
Because, the more rights people have, the more decisions they have to make, and, the more they can shape themselves. And you have to make some mistakes to learn as a person. I know my dad told me when he was a kid, he bought an entire pack of cigarettes back when you could just say, "Oh, I'm picking up a pack from my dad," right? He went, got some. He and his friends smoked an entire pack in the alley, threw up the entire thing, and then never smoked again. I mean, like, that was a necessary mistake for him to make. And obviously, people
yeah.
shouldn't be going smoking a whole pack. But if you can't make your own mistakes, it's a lot harder to.
But then
learn.
again, you have to think about all the people
Did he eat
who
a
get
cigarette?
addicted to it even
Yeah.
after like one use. And like, do you really want? Should the government just like look the other way? I think they really should. Like, this is a good law because it's forcing people to stay healthy. Like,
That's a
keep
Yeah.
them.
good
Like-
point, and I don't want to I don't want to play the devil's advocate, but like, those are isolated cases. So I mean, those
Of
one
addiction?
those one smoke addictions. I'm not saying like addiction in general, but like
no,
that
yeah,
first
but
puff
if they do it
addiction.
once, they're probably gonna end up doing it again.
Yeah, people react.
So if anything, it'll
differently.
prevent addiction.
Yeah, and again, this doesn't really pertain. We're non-smokers, so it's
Yeah.
not a big deal.
I was gonna say though, like with smoking, it really, it's kind of like a case-by-case scenario because people respond differently to it, kind of like marijuana. People have different reactions to it. So some people may have a negative reaction and then they will revert from it and they'll never try it again. Whereas others, they may get hooked on it and then they'll immediately go back to it. So it's really all dependent on how somebody accepts it or takes it. And not everybody takes it very well and they get addicted to it.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Yes, I concur.
Good talk.
Good talk, guys.
Alright.
All right, next topic. Anyone else have anything pressing?
When you talk about the wall, though, what is it? Mexico has a sizable fence with Guatemala, and they have a sovereign nation because they keep a good border there. And Israel has a wall that blocks the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, keeps the Palestinians out. And, you can look at walls throughout history. You have the wall between East and West Germany. You have Hadrian's Wall in England. You have the Great Wall of China. So walls have been used throughout history in a variety of instances. I don't think that having a wall on the border will stop illegals coming across the border, but I think it will certainly halt some people, some progression. So if it stems the tide, if it stems the amount of people coming through, then at least it's serving its purpose, but I don't think it will necessarily stop it.
It's
But then-
either going to be like we're either going to build a wall that's so worthless that it's pretty much doing nothing, or we're going to build a wall that does something and we're going to be spending so much money
Yeah.
doing so
Yeah.
that it's not going to be anywhere near worth it.
Can you
Well,
tell
like,
me?
he changes
can
the
you-
number. It's like 6, 8, 10, and it just keeps rising.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, he hasn't.
Million?
The thing is that when you have a wall, when you have something that stretches across multiple states, it's difficult to have a set price on something because he hasn't even talked to contractors yet or anything like that.
Mm.
So obviously, what
But-
he's going to do is he's going to give you a range. Like these are the numbers that we're going to try and shoot for. We don't have a set number yet because we haven't consulted anybody.
But would you
But the
really
thing
want to
is-
spend that money that could be spent towards
What do we-
pedestrians?
What do we spend our money on right now? Can you tell me what our tax dollars go to?
Mostly military, right?
Military education.
Education, is that it though?
Education's like one of the few that's not.
It's
Yeah.
one of the few. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, it's
A
actually
lot
really,
of our
it's really
tax,
sad how
a lot of
Yeah.
our
little we pay
taxes
for
is actually
education.
hidden taxes. About was it like 35%? We don't really know where our tax money goes to. At least if it goes to a wall, I know where it's going to.
And plus, I mean, if you have that structure there, it would cut costs on board patrol, costs that that yearly or annually add up, like patrols, and it also cuts down on the risk factor of a man accidentally shooting someone who is innocent. I mean, there are like so many cases each year of Border Patrol officers who kill these illegal immigrants or even normal immigrants. And I think that it would be safer to have this wall, not only for us but for everyone.
A lot of the
Well, even if he decides not to post, or I'm saying if Trump gets elected, he builds the wall, and he decides he doesn't want to put Border Patrol there, and you cut the cost of that, you still have to pay, maybe not every year, but like every 2 years, 3 years to maintain
Maintenance.
the wall.
Maintenance.
That's
It's gonna
going
cost
to be
even
really
more.
expensive. Yeah, that's cripplingly expensive. Plus, saying like at least I know where my money's going, that's like saying like, we're going to be nuking other nations, but they said it, and that's where I know my money's going. Like, if I know my money's going to a bad cause, I'd rather it just be going where it's currently
well,
going.
but how's
a bad
a bad
cause,
cause?
a bad cause is a very subjective thing to say.
Well, I mean, like
the
a bad cause
to
in
you
the
may
sense
be
that
a
it's so
just cause
crippling
for
to
me.
us.
And then the fact that he's gonna make Mexico pay for it, even though the president of Mexico said, "Yeah, we're not paying
The
for
former
it."
president of Mexico, and you have to realize that a border crosses. It has both sides. It has the Mexican
two-way.
side, and it's two-way exactly. It's like a coin, it has two sides to it. So it acts as a wall both for America and for Mexico.
So
yeah, but they're not
okay,
asking for
first
a
off-
wall.
Yeah, they're
our,
not-
no,
Who's
our
trying to break
relations
into
with-
Mexico?
Oh no, it's like a relation. Like our relations with Mexico have to be like at a certain point where we can then agree that this wall needs to go up because we can't just build it. Like I mean,
Well-
it would look like a defensive.
Well,
What I'm
it
trying to
is
get is-
defensive.
Yeah,
It has
and
to,
that's
it
like,
has
like
to be,
we,
there has to be mutual understanding.
we can't
on
even
both
agree
sides.
amongst
They're not gonna-
ourselves
I feel
that
like
we
they're
want to
not
build
gonna
it.
agree.
They don't
Yeah.
want to build
Why,
it for sure.
why can't? Well, I mean, you have to contribute something because it is a wall and it does intersect between two different sides.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
if you're gonna
like
build
they don't
something-
want it. Like
Yeah,
only
they don't.
half of America even wants
Well,
it.
they don't want it because they can't even afford it, really.
We
Okay.
can't afford
Well,
it.
I mean,
Yes,
it's
we
only,
can.
It's
If
only
we
people
have
who
so,
pretend that we,
we have
can
so
afford
much
it. wouldn't
money
it?
that is being placed into the military right now, and they have so much
Trillions.
conflict that is going on in the Middle East. why don't we divert some of these funds to actually help people in America on domestic problems and domestic issues?
Yeah, and that so let's face domestic issues, not building a wall. Those are two very different things.
So you don't believe that countries should be sovereign, should have the right of self-determination, and that we cannot determine our own fate?
I'm saying that even if we cut all the money from the military and focused on our own country, like, the wall is by far not the first thing to focus on.
Yeah.
I mean, like, even if we decide, like, okay, we're not going to focus first thing on our own country, we're so far in debt that, like, we can't see the other side. There's no light at the end of the tunnel right now. And so we're talking about going even further into debt with this wall. Like, that's...
We're already
makes
we're already
sense. You'd
nearly
rather say-
$20 trillion in debt. Spending several million on a wall is so insignificant to that.
The trade
that's-
deficit.
and
But,
that
but that's
rate,
the trade
that's like
deficit
saying,
we
like,
have.
you know, I've
It's
already
like-
lost
but
three.
you
I've
see,
already lost three
we're-
limbs when I just removed the last one.
I
Like,
think that's like very extreme, and I mean,
No,
if
this
you look
is
at the
very
amount
extreme
that
because it's
we're, like-
$20 trillion that we're
Yeah.
in debt.
Yeah, and
We
the
shouldn't
majority of that
add
money
on to
is
that debt.
military spending.
Yeah. Okay. So why add
So
more
why add
to
more
it?
to it?
yeah.
So you're rather that money continue to be funneled into
No,
the
I
No,
don't.
no,
but
no,
I
no,
don't
but
want
that's
it to
where
go
it's
there at
going.
all.
It should be refocused, but it should be refocused towards
The
first
wall-
helping like the actual people of our nation instead of focusing
Having a
on
wall that
other
builds
people
sovereignty.
coming in. Let's focus on the people who are here. Let's work on
to
getting
go off
everyone
that, to go
inside
off that,
working.
because I was like, if you have more people coming in, then there's more people to take care of, and there's more people to look after. That increases welfare. That increases, you know, all these different statistics that continue to leach money. Leaching is the wrong word,
Look.
but
You build the wall, and so now they can't get through. So what's their other choice?
Well,
They're gonna go
that-
under, around, or over. Like,
Or
there's
I mean,
nowhere
they're
else.
gonna get through.
If
Yeah.
somebody if
anyways.
somebody is trying to cross the border illegally, what does that tell you about the individual that's coming to the country? What kind of preset are they setting?
They're
But do they
desperate.
have other
Yeah.
like
They're
everybody else.
desperate.
Yes,
Like-
like everybody
No, no,
else.
and I'm
they
not
can-
saying,
Everybody
like-
else, who else?
No, I'm
mean,
saying like they're
it's not like
desperate.
people
They're gonna
from Canada
find
are
a
coming
way.
through here.
As in, like if someone's
Because
desperate,
Mexico's bad.
Mexico's
Canada's not that
literally-
bad.
if someone's desperate and they're trying to leave their life, they're probably like there's going to be ways
They
people are
have
going to get through the
nothing
wall.
to lose.
Yeah,
Desperate
they-
or-
It's like
they're
think of
gonna-
it.
Yes, they
think
do.
of it like
No,
this.
the
Think of it like
cartels take advantage of the people. There are people that I know, for instance, because my stepmother is Colombian, right? And she knows people who have actually crossed the border and have given money to the cartels to help get them across the border. And they have raped and molested people and have abused them by like trafficking them across the border. It happens all the time.
Yeah, it's a
The-
fact that
the cartels use they.
But then what does the
they,
law have to do
they,
with that?
They manipulate people.
it makes
Yeah,
it harder
so-
for them to then continue to.
Harder
to-
for how long though?
Exactly.
What do you mean?
I mean, like you put any obstacle up, someone's going to find a way across it. It's just a matter of how long.
So are they going to start airdropping cocaine and marijuana?
They
Oh.
catapult it over.
Yeah, so yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but they don't do that with people though. So the
Not
thing
yet.
is that,
I mean-
as I said, I don't think that it's going to stop drug flow. I don't think it's going to stop, things that are like drug
To
paraphernalia
be honest, it probably
related.
won't stop anything. It'll
Yeah.
slow it down. It
It'll
won't
slow
stop
down
it.
people.
I
for
like
sure.
the
It'll
But
slow
it's
down
still
for
just,
how
like,
long though? There's a good chance that someone's gonna find a good way to circumvent it.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 years. It works for 5 years. People find the perfect way to circumvent it, and boom, they're in. Like we spent millions. Is it millions or is it like billions?
It's probably billions.
I'm pretty sure it's billions
In what?
to build the wall, not millions.
Yeah, I think it's.
So
billions.
that's why like.
Our
like-
trade deficit is so significant with other nations. It doesn't really. I mean, we just have to reallocate current funds. to
Yeah, but
build
we
the
have to
wall. And it's
reallocate to
only
the
a-
right
and
places.
But it's like not
But
even
you
the
see,
Mexicans
again,
that
The
he's
wall
trying
is
to
one
stop.
aspect. We're gonna help. Like for instance, we're gonna help with Social Security. We're gonna help with healthcare. We're gonna help with education, military, everything. The wall is just merely one aspect. It's not everything. It's not like the main focus of a particular party. It's all encompassing. We're trying to help a country as a whole, not just the wall itself. The wall is just one thing of many.
One thing that shouldn't. It's the one thing
If
that
anything-
seems like a horrible idea.
I
For,
think
for a few
focus on
reasons.
I focus on like the other stuff first, and then like show me how the wall is gonna go. Like, I want to see a plan. I want to see how much it's gonna cost, and because I don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah,
I mean,
honestly
like,
think
history,
it would.
history has shown that it has worked. Hadrian's Wall, the East.
Okay, yeah, we're talking about walls
The Berlin
far in the
Wall?
past.
The
yeah, the
Berlin
Berlin
Wall.
Wall was a horrible idea. It didn't really work.
It didn't
People-
work because the Soviet Union fell, and they ran out of money, and they ran out of infrastructure. Okay, East Germany was very successful with building the wall, and for many years, about 30 years, the wall stood, and hardly anybody got across.
All I'm saying is that
Okay.
we've
To this
we've
day, Israel,
experimented.
to this day,
we've
Israel,
experimented with wall-type borders and trying really hard to defend
No, dude.
our border in that sense.
So wait, hold
to
on.
this,
hasn't
Does that
really-
to
mean
this day in Israel, when it comes to the Gaza Strip and the West Bank, they have kept the Palestinians out for, I mean, ever since the creation of Israel, just about. I mean, they have never had, I mean, sometimes they get incursions from Hamas that has terrorist attacks, but generally speaking, the Palestinians are kept out of Israel through the use of walls, and it's very, successful there.
Just a play.
I don't know. The walls. I feel like it's just gonna slow down because I mean the border of Mexico has like different layers of fences and people still manage a way to like get through.
Okay,
Yeah.
vote. Wall? Who votes for wall? No wall?
Dang, dude, Ross is popping off.
It's cool, guys.
My video is gonna be
good.
like.
Yeah,
That
it
was scary.
I love it.
That was good.
Ross